MK, and I am back with another Follow a Sketch February. This is the sketch that we will be working with, well, I will be working with today. And so I've got some 13 Arts cut aparts that I had already pre-cut, but I thought I'd do a flip through this little book, and that's all it is just a bunch of images that you can fussy cut out, or if you have a scan and cut, some of the images will cut out on your scan and cut. I say some because these lighter images won't show up on the scanner. So anyways, those are the two sheets that I picked out. There are the pieces that I fussy cut. Now I won't be using every single piece on this layout for sure, but and actually technically it's not really a layout. I am using this as kind of a creative outlet today. Oh, this little airplane is from Creative Memories, and it's from a laser cut, I don't know, border strip thing. I'm not even sure if it's still available, you guys, but it's from the Planes collection. I also have this globe. I believe it's a Paige Evans globe. I've had it for quite a while to use as the beginning of my 2019 album. So it's been stuck in a page protector until I could kind of sort of get closer to finishing this album. I plan on doing some mixed media on it using ground espresso distress oxide spray, as well as chocolate chip Nouveau vintage drops. And then I'm also going to put this 49 and Market Anywhere paper behind the globe, so it's going to be one solid piece instead of being able to see through it. I also have two pieces of paper, this border strip paper and then the airplane paper behind it. It's kind of like an ombre airplane paper. Those are just from a travel paper pad that I used to have in my stash, and these are just like the last little bits left over. I know I have a few scragglers here and there as far as paper goes, but yeah, I disassembled my paper pads a while ago, and I put all the pieces in the categories where I felt like they would fit, and I got rid of all the papers I knew I would never use. I do that about every spring. I just go through my stash, you guys, and relieve myself of items that I know I can't bring myself to use. It's just they aren't my style type of deal. All right, so I went ahead and I sprayed the Distress Oxide spray, the entire thing, you guys. It didn't matter to me what I was going for. And then I did a little bit of sprinkle to it to kind of oxide it even more just on where the continents are. Now, I took the little nozzle off of the Nouveau drop bottle and went ahead and just put a glob of it on my desk. And I'm using my best tool in the whole wide world, my finger, and dabbing it on because I want to give that, the stand of the globe texture. So when I tab it on, it gives it little peaks and valleys and stuff, and it's super cool. All right, and then I also have a brand new product in my stash. I am so super stoked. This is the first time I'm going to be using it. Now, it is a sister product next to the gilding wax, and this is called Chameleon Wax, which is really cool because it starts off as a green when looking straight on it. And then when you twist and turn it, it kind of changes to a purpley, to a bluey, to a this, to a that. And I just absolutely had to try it, and I wanted to try it on this globe because I kind of wanted the globe to look a little metal-like. I wanted it to look like one of those, you know, kind of 3D wall piece that is made out of metal. I don't know, you guys. I can see it in my brain, but I have no idea what it's even called. So it does take me a little bit to go ahead and, you know, splash some of this color on, because the thing about, I say gilding wax, but the thing about this wax is you don't want to use a whole lot, but you also don't want to use like not enough, especially when you're trying to put color down. Now, if I was going for, you know, vintage and the geared look with my metallic gilding wax, then yeah, it doesn't matter to me if I get full coverage. But on this, I kind of sort of wanted it to be like, I didn't want any of the Distress Oxide spray to show through, but yet it kind of sort of does. It kind of sort of leaves me with that that opaque look, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But it's just, oh my gosh, you guys, I was like singing a song when I first put this down, and as I went along, it's just beautiful. So I decided to slow this down just a little bit so you guys could see it. It almost has that metal look to it, and I almost debated not to put the backing, the 49 and Market cardstock that I picked out for this, but as soon as I laid it down on top of the cardstock, it was just even more gorgeous. So I was like, yeah, I have to do that. So now what I'm doing is just deciding placement, because in this print is kind of like longitude and latitude lines. And I really kind of wanted the most out of those lines to look like they went across my globe, or mostly on the water portion of my globe. And I thought, oh my gosh, that looks really cool. And I wanted to get it in the exact placement. Now, there is also a kind of like a compass little dealio, and I thought about putting that somewheres in the water, but I changed my marbles and decided not to do it. And I do have to say, forgive the slang. I've been commented before about how I talk. I do that on purpose, you guys. I say the words to make it more fun for me when I do a voiceover. If I was so prim and proper, it would be boring to me, and I'm not sure if I would want to continue to do a voiceover. So I change the words up, and I do use slang, words that I make up, just to make it more fun for me. And so I'm sorry if it's hard to kind of listen to mispronounced words. I apologize about that. I'm just trying to make it more fun for me. All right, sappy stuff over with. So I cut apart all of those borders because I really wasn't sure what combination I wanted to use, because the ones that I actually originally picked out, they didn't go at all. So I was like, oh, well, that's a weird surprise. So I went with these 4 borders, and I went ahead and I took out all the gluing, you guys. I don't know what took so long on this layout, honestly, because I had a ton of hours recorded for this process. And to me, it just seemed like it came together so fast until I pulled off all of the recordings, and I was like, oh my gosh, it took that long. Like, I was shocked. So I did take out, like the mundane stuff, and just decided to put in the stuff that I thought maybe everyone was interested in. I just took my ATG gun and I glued everything to this ombre paper background. And now I am going ahead and taking my my flowers and putting them where they kind of sort of are roughly in the sketch. And so my globe is representing the photos and the doilies and that whole main cluster, basically. And then I decided that my title is this huge strip that goes straight across the middle of my page, instead of cutting my title apart to where it kind of stacked like and stayed over to the left. So I decided it's just going to go all the way across the left-hand page, but then I still wanted to add those florals on both sides of the photo cluster. And so it's if I look at it that way, then both sides of the photo cluster is both sides of my globe, which normally I have my cluster going, diagonal across my globe one way or the other, or just on one side of my globe. So this is kind of different for me, having it on both sides. But I'm trying to keep them as 2 separate clusters instead of joining them down at the bottom base. I try really, really hard, and every time I place something there, I was like, oh no, it's getting too close to the other side. But I really wanted to fill in that spot to get the to make it look like it was finalized. And so I finally come up with something that I really am happy with, that looks like it's official and finalized. And then lastly, I cut out a bunch of teeny tiny little, they look almost like daisies, but they had a pink hue to them. Yes, I said the word pink. And I really wanted to have them go diagonal across the globe, just like in the sketch. However, I didn't have pink in any of my other clusters. So I was like, how do I incorporate them? But they look awkward if I added them to the cluster, because I didn't really build the clusters with them in. And if I add them in now, then I won't have enough tiny little pieces to make my little scatters. And so I thought, oh, well, then I'm just going to do splatters. I'm just going to take my ink sprays and splatter them. So first, before I get to the splatters, I am taking I am taking a Vicki Boutin label and just filling in a gap where I kind of miscalculated on how far up to put my borders. And so I just wanted to fill in that gap, which I kind of sort of like. And I said kind of sort of again. And then I went and put on the banner 2019 because this is the title page. This is the very front page of my very first album for 2019. So when you open up album number 1 of 5, that's so embarrassing, honestly. When you open up album number 1, you are going to see this as the front page news. Well, then I took 3 different splatters. So first off, I took they're both Nuvo splatters, and then this last one is an Altenew, but it's a Nuvo Mica Mist, and I'm not really sure which one the blue one is because I had to replace the bottle. To be honest, none of my mica sprays work at all if I was to use them as a spray, but they are so shiny, sparkling, oh my gosh, that I only use them as a splatter because the spray is just too much. But I did replace the bottle because I love this blue. And so anyways, I splattered the blue all the way around the layout right now. Then I took, well, not right now, I already did it. Then I took the green, which is, I believe, olive. Nope, it's barrel swirl. Okay, I've never heard that. So then I took that green and splattered it all over, which made the chameleon wax like blend in, which I thought was really cool. And then, of course, I topped it off with white. I have never used 3 different types of splatters before, you guys, and I am absolutely loving it on this particular layout. All right, that is it for me today. Thank you so much for putting up with me and just watching me create today. It's not a layout. It's not a storytelling. I apologize. I just wanted to play today, you guys, and I appreciate y'all hanging out with me for that. Thank you, and I'll check y'all later. Bye.